Hello and welcome to the very first weekly energy reading. It is for the week of May 5th through the 11th. This is the first one I'm doing, so I am going to make the entire full expanded reading available to you for free on YouTube and in my membership that I have, my membership community called Grounding Spirituality. After this week, I'm going to be putting up a portion of the free weekly reading, of the whole weekly reading, a portion of that reading. It will be available on YouTube and in my free membership community, and there will also be an option to upgrade and a paid membership to get the full expanded reading, as well as some integration activities each week. And that goes along with the monthly reading too. If you saw the monthly reading, it's kind of a similar format that I'm doing with that. And then also, if you are a part of the free membership, you'll be able to get the readings a day earlier. So they'll come out on Saturdays for you guys, and then on YouTube, they will be uploaded on Sundays. Cool. So let's get into the energies this week. So these readings are meant to help you get clear on the energies that are available to you that you can access and utilize to have a more intentional, grounded, aligned week. So as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Again, if you haven't seen the monthly energy reading, I'm doing those once a month as well. They come out on the first of the month if you're a part of the membership. The free membership, they will be available on the 31st or 30th, the last day of the previous month, a day sooner than they are on YouTube. And we're looking at the energies that are available to us and how we can best work with them. We'll get some messages from the universe, some grounded action steps so that we can integrate all of this information into our lives, because the best way to use this information is to apply it, right? It's wonderful to listen and hear the ideas, but applying it and figuring out how to actually make use of it can be really, really powerful. So for this week, let's tune into what is the energetic theme for the week. We have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. So cups are associated with emotions and with, in some ways, creativity. The wand suit is also with creativity, but in a way there is some creative flow with the cup energy as well, just because of the fluidity of water, right? Because it's associated with water, and the emotions are associated with water. And so let's tune in here and see what's coming through with this Ace of Cups. It feels like there's this new opening available to you where you're able to access flow a little bit better. It feels like this new kind of flow. Let's get a supporting energy here and get a little bit more clarity on this. Okay, so we have this card came up in the monthly reading as well, the Nine of Swords. So it's interesting that it came up in the monthly reading and it's coming up now here too in this first week of May, and it's in association with the Ace of Cups. And if you look at this imagery on the Ace of Cups, you can see this heart that is like bursting. There's like water spurting out of it. There's like bursting with emotion, with like this new kind of readiness for expression. And this card, I can't remember the exact energies that came up with this card in the monthly reading. It was around kind of being done with or being past this kind of hardship. And in this moment, it feels like, because this card is also, it's very much associated with anxiety, with worry, with overthinking. And so it feels like, it does feel like there's this overthinking that happens when you try to access this flow state that I was speaking to earlier, but your heart is so full and ready to express itself that it can almost overpower the anxiety, right? Like it can almost like transmute it in a way, right? So like what would it take for you to access your heart center more? That's kind of what I'm feeling here. I would love one more supporting energy card for the Ace of Cups, for the Nine of Swords, the Sun. Yeah, it's like, I mean, the Sun is such a bright, happy card, right? So it is like this anxiety, worry, overthinking, this like stress or hardship, even like whatever it is for you that you have been working through. It's like you don't have to let it overpower you, because you have so much light in you and so much access to the light in your heart. This feels very much like a heart-centered week. I'm really curious to see what comes up with the rest of this. Let me tune in and see what else is coming up with this Sun card here, because it is quite a powerful card. It's bringing in this, again, this new beginning energy that comes with the Ace. And in the monthly reading, there was so much energy around this like new start, this new energy that's coming through, and it feels like it's coming in very strongly this week, and that would be something that would be really beneficial for you to kind of hold on to. So let's take a look at like how are we going to work with this energy this week, right? This energy that is coming in. And I think earlier I said overpowering your anxiety and stuff, or like overthinking and whatnot, but it's more so like coming in to release it, right? It's coming in to replace it. You're being shown that there is like another option for you, rather than the overthinking and the overanalyzing and the stress. Like you have a choice on how you want to handle it. Like we live in the modern world and we're all overcome with stress. We're overstimulated. There's so much coming at us, and you have the ability to choose how you want to handle that, right? And of course, there are so many circumstances where it's just like you need a lot of help in order to work with that, right? So let's see, how can we best work with these energies, this energy of the theme this week? Okay, we have another Ace card. Very cool. I love this. So it's the Ace of Coins. In this deck, it's the coins. In like the traditional decks, it's pentacles. And so the Ace of Coins, it's again this like, wow, it's just so cool how much like new beginning energy is coming in, because again, referencing back to the monthly reading we did, there was so much about coming into this new grounded space. There was some earth energy that came up in the monthly reading as well, about being in this new place with your physical reality. This feels like that. This feels like this new understanding of physical reality, of how you connect with physical reality and how you embody the physical. Interesting. Okay, so then what does this look like? What does this new embodiment of this physicality look like in conjunction with this heart energy that we're coming in, this like light energy that's coming in with the Sun and with this Ace of Cups here? So what does this look like? Interesting, we have the Five of Pentacles, another earth energy card. And so this card, interesting imagery. It could be interpreted in so many different ways. I'd love to tune into it and see what's coming up. I'm feeling this kind of like leadership energy coming through. Because if you look, it does kind of look like this individual is leading this person, right? And so it feels like this person, they, you know, are walking on crutches. They're going through it. And this individual is leading this person through the snow. And it's like the imagery is can be challenging and confronting, but it feels like these are parts of yourself who are ready to work together. Like, again, in the monthly reading, there was this collaboration with yourself kind of energy that was coming through, and it feels like there's this nurturance that is being asked of you to work with these parts of yourself that maybe are shadow aspects, maybe parts that you don't like, or parts that like hold you back, or that do dumb things. Don't lie, you can relate to that. And so it feels like this kind of like loving nurturance energy from your heart space towards these parts of yourself. Like, it's like not trying to get rid of these parts of yourself, but like loving them in a new way, in a way that they're like unconditionally accepted no matter what, even though you don't like them all the time, and even though they like muck stuff up in your mind or in your life, right? That's so interesting. Okay, so let's get a general message from the universe around this week, around working with this energy. General message, general guidance from the universe. The 10 of Wands. Amazing. This to me right now is speaking to the power within yourself to again make these choices that align with what you actually want in a heart-centered way. Like making the choice to come out of this and to go into this. The choice to come out of this and work through this and enter into this. I don't know how much sense that made. Perhaps you understood the images. It's this energy of like, you have gone through enough to know yourself in order to make choices that align with what you actually want. And to do it in a grounded way, but it's not just about making, like taking physical action. It feels like more, it's in combination with tuning into your intuitive abilities, your kind of more magical side, your non-physical side. It feels like the universe is acknowledging all of this kind of like 3D realm earthly stuff that we've had to go through in order to access this potential that we have in ourselves, that we're able to embody a lot more easily and effortlessly today. And it's showing you that you can you can do this. That's kind of the energy I'm feeling, is that like you can do this. Like you are so much more powerful than you think you are. And it just comes down to you deciding that you are powerful and that you are going to take the actions and make the choices and embody the energies that align with you in this power, this powerful version of yourself. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so let's look at creative potentials for the week. So this could be anything to do with something that you're like working on, you know, at work, in your personal life. It could be any kind of manifestation that you're working on. Even if you like don't identify as a creative, you are still always creating, and there is always potential creative energies available to you. So let's take a look at what that could be for you this week. Creative potentials, creative energies. It's kind of like, what are we building this week, you know? And that could be interpreted in so many ways depending on who you are, what you do, what you're working on. So what are we building this week? I love that question. Interesting. If you didn't see the monthly reading, I say interesting a lot. Welcome to me. So it's the Death card. What are we building this week? We're building this new understanding of the cycles of life. It's like referencing the monthly reading again. It's really cool how much all of this is coming through from the monthly reading, but there was this um, idea and energy of working with the ups and downs of life, and this feels like connected to that, connected to this energy and perspective of like things are going to happen in life and we are going to have to work through them because that is what we signed up for in this 3D realm. And so this is referencing so much the cycles of life and being okay with things ending, being okay with things not being right for you, and being willing to let them go, because there's so much that we hold on to because we tie our identity around the things that we do, the ideas we have, our beliefs and opinions. Like we make those things who we are, and those things aren't who we are. And we really, in order to embody this new flow that we're coming into that's focused on this heart space and that is free from all of this anxiety and stress or overwhelm, whatever that looks like for you, whatever kind of hardship struggle that is for you, that kind of impedes on what you are working towards. Like we have to be willing to let certain things go, aspects of ourselves, like these parts of ourselves that are dragging us down. If we're not willing to work with them and to let them not run our lives anymore, we're not going to be able to really create the life that we want to create. We're not going to be able to manifest the reality that we want to manifest. So what would it take for you to let some things go? Like what do you need to let go this week? What have you been like holding on to for dear life? Maybe unconsciously. Maybe it's something you're holding on to unconsciously and you need to do some deeper inner work, some subconscious work to get clear on like, what is it that is holding me back really? Like what am I holding on to that I can't let go of, that needs to be released, because that's the natural cycle part of life, of the cyclical nature of life. Okay, let's look at mindset. This will probably, I feel like this mindset card is going to really tie into this creative potential energy card of letting things go. What is the mindset, the focus, the perspective that we need this week? The Ace of Pentacles. Wow. This is the third ace card that we have in this reading so far. This is amazing. This is like energetically, there's a channeler that I listened to, Lee Harris, and his guides had spoken so much about May being a big month for new energies coming through. And so I love that like these readings have aligned with that, because I kind of even like just feeling the energy of May, it just feels like this whole new thing, you know? And so we have this Ace of Pentacles card, and this is our mindset focused perspective card for this week. And so it really is, we have two. What was this card? This was also the Ace of Pentacles. This was the message from the universe card. No, this was the how to work with this energy card. I have my list of questions over here. I'm trying to stay organized. This was the how to work with this energy card. And so it's the same card, different deck. I like using a couple different decks. And this is our mindset card. And it's the same card of how to work with this energy card. And so the Ace of Pentacles is again this grounded new beginning. And so tying that into mindset, it feels like there's this need for like a practical approach to things. And like I'm really good with practicality in some ways, but overall I would rather just like I would rather not be super practical, like just naturally. I'm so much more feminine in my natural state, and so there's this a lot of flow energy that comes through me. But like when it comes down to it, like I can be practical about things for sure, which is so important being a human. Like we need a little bit of practical application, and we can also integrate that with the flowy woo-woo fun free stuff, right? But there needs to be some grounded action. And so the question that's coming up is like, what do you need to do in order to set yourself up for success? Which sounds like such a dumb generic question, but like that's what's coming through with this card, because this card is the new beginning card in the Pentacle suit, which is earth energy. And it feels like this practical energy is coming through with it. Interesting. And so I'm wondering, how does that tie in with this like letting go of things? Okay, so it's this like, it's again like what needs to be done in order for you to like let go of these things that you're holding on to. Very, very like practical action, like what can you do in order to change that? So really, really good stuff to think about this week. What are we on now? Emotional needs. Let's look at what we need emotionally this week. I would love to hear from you about how this resonates with you. If this resonates with you, what you get from it, and also like what you do with this information. I would love to hear like what actions you're taking in order to make these changes that are coming up, that are being asked of you. Okay, emotional needs this week. The Page of Wands. Again, a little bit of like new beginning energy. The page is associated with being a novice. And so this Page of Wands, emotional support, it feels like this, again, this new relationship with these parts of yourself that have been kind of holding you back in a way. Like, how can you see the magic in them and like bring magic to them? She says, after being like, what can you practically do? What's magic? This is different for everyone. This is you know, bringing magic into your life. And when I say that, I mean like your non-physical self, your spirit, your soul, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your relationship with spirit looks like for you. Like, how can you bring that into your life? And the next question I have is, or one of the following questions is, how can you connect with spirit this week? And this feels like, it does feel like connecting with these parts of yourself in a new way to support them emotionally, because these parts of ourselves that we have that kind of screw things up for us, like they need something. I'm not sure if you're familiar with internal family systems, but that's kind of what I'm speaking to with parts of self. But there are more than just these like the main categories that the internal family system speaks to, of the different parts of self. Like there are so many different kinds of parts of yourself, and when they are doing something to get your attention, it's because they need something. So I am sure that the journaling questions that I tie into with this week are going to have some things to do with working with parts of yourself. So I highly recommend joining the free community that I have so that you can access those journaling questions, so that you can really process this information in a grounded and practical way, right? Because we are having this call to taking action here. And sometimes when we're working with spirit and with parts of ourselves, it can be hard to like do things in a grounded, practical way, as we're being called to this week. So interesting. I would actually like to go to that question of like, how can we connect with spirit this week? Like what are our spiritual needs this week? The King of Wands. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Wow. I love this. Yeah, because we had like our emotional needs is the Page of Wands, our spiritual needs is the King of Wands. And so it really is, again, it's feeling into your innate power that we spoke to, that came up in these previous cards, that like you just simply are powerful. And there's so much conditioning and muck and muddiness that we go through being humans, that we take on in this like false sense of self, this false identity that prevents us from seeing that. And that is what like the work is, right? It's about undoing all of that stuff so that we can come into our true power and our true self and actually like create magic on earth. That is like what I'm about. That is all, that is what I'm about. And so for your spiritual needs, it feels like, I don't know, I'm also feeling kind of like the energy of the magician come through with these cards of like really doing something specific as a part of your spiritual practice that makes you feel magical. And that could be so many different things, like depending on what helps you feel connected with spirit. It could literally be like singing and dancing to a song. Like that makes me feel magical. um it could be pulling cards for yourself, meditating with your crystals. It could be going for a walk in nature, having a conversation with someone. Like there's so much magic to be found in all of the small moments of every single day. Like gratitude for being alive and for being a part of this world and this creation, like that is so magical. So maybe it's making a gratitude list for you so that you can kind of have this higher perspective of like, wow, this is actually like, as fucking hard as it is sometimes to be alive and be a human and go through all the shit that we go through, it's really, really fucking magical too. Cool. I love this. I'm excited to see what the action set cards are that come through, but I want to pull a card first for physical support because we cannot neglect our bodies. Our bodies are important in our experience here on earth. Like we chose our bodies before we came here. We were like, I want that one. And so much of spiritual growth can be associated, and like in my perspective should be associated with creating a relationship with your body. There's so much in the spiritual world around like transcending the physical, transcending your body, and I'm like, no, like get in your body and heal the shit in your body so that you can connect to the physical, the non-physical, I mean, so that you can connect to like the spirit that exists within your body. Because physical and spiritual and non-physical, like those are not separate things. Those are all the same thing, and it's hard for our human minds to comprehend that. And I don't know that I can even explain it better than that. Maybe at some point some words will come through that bring some clarity around that. But they're spiritual and non-physical and physical are not opposites. They are the same. So let's see what our physical support is this week. The Hierophant. Oh, I love this card. This card's been coming up a lot for me lately. It feels like what I was just saying. It feels like this understanding of your physical body is spiritual. Like you are a spiritual being, you have a soul, you are a spirit who exists within your body. Your body exists within your spirit, however you want to look at it. It's more so that like your body exists within your spirit is how I see it. But it does feel like this bridging, this kind of merging of your understanding of non-physical and physical reality, and looking at the sacredness in your body, and like, what can you do to honor and support your sacred body? That's what's coming through. It's what can you do to support and honor the sacredness of your body. There's so much this new perspective and energy that's been coming through the past few years of like, how are we relating to our bodies? How are we working with the trauma that's stored in our bodies, the energies that are stuck in our bodies that are turning into diseases and illness and all kinds of other things. I'm getting this visual of like allowing life force energy to flow through you. So at some point I might also create a meditation around that, around allowing life force energy to flow through you. That might be something that comes in the future because that feels really important for this work that we're doing here, and for those of you who are actually willing and wanting to do this integration work of bringing the spiritual into the physical. Cool. I love that. Okay, let's look at action steps. Action steps for this week. Let's get some really clear action steps. How can we take this out into our lives in a practical way, in a grounded way that feels safe for us? The Four of Cups. This feels like making connections with people on this stuff, right? Because I had brought up earlier, like, there are perhaps some like subconscious things that you're holding on to that are preventing you from moving forward that need to be dealt with. And so it feels like, where can you get support with that, right? Like, where can you get support with doing the work, the actual work that we want to do, so that we can embody the physical in the, we can embody the spiritual in the physical. And it feels like being willing to make connections with people, both in your like personal relationships, but also in like professional relationships, like seeking professional help if that's something that you need. And honestly, I feel like most people need, whether that is with like a mental health professional, if you're there and you need that, right? Or if it's with a coach or a healer or some kind of mentor, just someone who can help you see clearly what's going on with you and help you process what's going on with you, so that you can do the work, so that you can process all of these emotions, work with these parts of yourself that are holding you back. Like, it feels like this being willing to work in community with that. And that, you know, also could just be having a conversation with your friends about this stuff that you're working on, like what's coming up for you. And it's interesting that that's coming up with this card, because in this card, like, the image is of, there we go, the image is of an individual looking a little pouty. I don't know if you relate to that. I sure as shit do. But also, he's being handed a cup. He's being like, hey, like, there is help for you if you want it, and you are allowed to take it. You're allowed to ask for it, and it is there for you if you want it. It comes back to like this ability that you have to choose your outcome. You get to choose what life looks like for you and how you want to handle what is happening in your life right now. Because again, life is fucking hard sometimes. And the most empowering thing that you can have and do is to know that you have a choice in how you work with what you are being given in life. Because we're all going to be thrown all kinds of shit at all different times, and at the worst times sometimes, and it's a lot. And so what are you going to do to work with that, to not let it take you down, to meet the challenge as it is being shown to you? I love that. It's so important to know that we have a choice. And I love this energy that's coming up for the week of like taking action in a practical way so that you can move forward with what you want. Okay. Yeah, that feels complete here. This feels complete. I'm going to get these journal questions that are going to come through with this stuff that we went over today. Those will be available in the free membership of the Grounding Spirituality community. If you're not a member there, go ahead and join over there, because that's where all of the future integration activities are going to be made available to you. And you'll be given the option to upgrade into the extended versions, which this was the extended reading for the week. So if this resonated with you, definitely get in that community so that you can access the future extended readings, because I am only going to be doing like a portion of this reading and made available free. I wanted to give this as a sample to whoever wanted to, to whoever is resonant with this, if they wanted to If they wanted to see that they wanted to join the what's happening with my words in my brain right now? If they wanted to join the paid community. Wow. I got it out. It came out. Cool. So check that out for sure. Again, I am going to be uploading a portion of this weekly reading every single week on Sundays. It will be free on YouTube and in the paid community. And follow me on Instagram too if you're not already. It's Rachel Sappho Wellness, because I post information about the readings and like what's coming up on there, so you can stay up to date with everything that's coming out. So thank you so much for being here with me. Please let me know what resonated with you on this, what didn't, and like how you're applying this. I hope you have a beautiful week. I will see you next week, and enjoy the rest of your day.